Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we are diving into a powerful C# 14 feature, partial constructors and partial events, the newest members of the partial family in C#. If you have worked with partial classes or partial method before, this will feel like a natural upgrade. And if you are new to the concept, don't worry, I'll break it all down in simple, clear terms. So before we get started, just a quick reminder to subscribe my channel, hit the red button and don't forget to click on the little bell icon. That way you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, without any further delay, let's get started. Let's start with the basics. What's a partial class? A partial class enables us to split a class across multiple files. This is super useful when we are working in a large team. Okay, let's understand with the help of examples shown over here. So here we have a class called my class, but instead of writing all of its code in one file, we have split it into two separate files. That's what I have written, file 1 and file 2 over here. And if you notice, each file has keyword partial in front of class, right? That makes this class as partial class. And it tells C# compiler, hey compiler, this class isn't complete yet. There are more pieces of it somewhere else. So if you notice, in my class in file 1, I have written this method1, that is responsible to print method1 into console window. That's what this method1 is going to perform over here. Similarly, in file 2 of this my class, right, I have the method2 that is responsible to print method2 into console window. And when the code runs, C# automatically combines both files into one full class that has both the methods. So that's the beauty of the partial class. Next up, partial method. These are like optional extension points. We can declare a method in one file and optionally implement it in another. And if you don't implement it, no problem. The compiler just removes the code. So this is especially useful in the code generation where the tool declares the method and we choose to implement it or not. Okay, let's understand with the help of examples shown over here. So here we have two files, file 1 and file 2. In file 1, there is a partial class named my class that has partial method declaration. That's what I have written, partial void on start. And here I just wrote partial in front of the method name and I did not provide any implementation for it. And that's how to write the partial method declaration. So here I have written partial void on start. And then there is a method name run that invokes this on start method. That's what I have written, public void run on start. And let's say I have not provided any implementation for this on start method. So this call is going to get removed. Okay. So that's what I have written, comment over here, gets removed if not implemented. And then finally, I'm just printing this running statement into console window. That's what I have written, console.writeline running. So that's how this partial class is written in file number 1. Now come to the file number 2. Here again, we have same partial class. That's what I have written, public partial class, my class. And here I have given the implementation of this partial method. That's what I have written, partial void on start, and I have written what this method is going to perform. So this method is responsible for writing a starting triple dot into console window. That's what I have written, console.writeline starting triple dot over here. So that's how we need to write this partial method. In one file, we need to just declare that partial method, and another file we can provide its implementation. And if you are not going to provide the implementation, so wherever this method call is happening, it is just going to get removed. Okay, so what's new in C# 14? Now in C# 14, the partial family just got two new members. What are those? Those are partial constructor and partial events. So these allows us to split our constructors and events across files just like we do with the method and classes. Okay, so now let's look at the partial constructor. So before C# 14, constructors had to be written in one file only. Now we can declare it in one file and implement it into the another one. Okay, so let's understand with the help of examples shown over here. So here we have two files, file 1 and file 2. In file 1, there is a partial class named user where I have declared a partial constructor. That's what I have written, public partial user. And how we can declare it? I just need to write the partial keyword before the constructor name, right? That's what I have written, public partial user over here. And I have not provided any implementation over here. That's what this is the declaration. Now in file 2, inside this partial class user, I have written this partial constructor implementation. As a part of implementation, what this constructor is going to perform? Writing this statement into console window. That's what I have written, console.writeline user constructor logic. So this is a great for splitting logic between generated and custom code, or just keeping things tidy in the large classes, right? Okay, so now let's talk about the partial events in C# 14. Like constructors, event used to be all or nothing in one file, but now in C# 14, we can separate the declaration and implementation of the events. Okay, let's understand with the help of examples on over here. So let's say we have a class called button and we are saying, I want to define an event called clicked, but I'm going to spread its definition across two files. So this is possible because of the partial keyword that enables us to split one class across multiple files. And in C# 14, this now includes events too. Here we have file 1 and file 2. In file 1, I am just declaring a partial event. That's what I have written, public partial event handler clicked over here. So that's how we need to write this event declaration as a partial one. So we just need to use partial keyword over here, and this event declaration becomes as a partial event declaration. Okay, now in file number 2, what I'm saying, I am going to handle people subscribing or unsubscribing from the clicked event. That's why in partial class button, I have written this partial event implementation over here. And here I have written add underscore clicked plus equal value remove underscore click minus equal value. So what does it mean? It is just saying what to do when someone adds a listener, that means the plus equal, and what to do when someone removes the list, that is the minus equal over here. So basically I'm just saying, okay, this event is going to happen when someone is subscribing or when someone is unsubscribing, right? And here we have private event handler named underscore click. Okay, so this is something where we are storing the actual list of events handler in this private field. Okay, so what it does, it gives us the more control over how subscribers are added or removed, especially in the UI framework or event heavy code. Okay, so now let's talk about some of the benefits of using partial constructor and events. Number 1, cleaner separation of generated and custom code. What does it mean? When using tools like code generators, we can declare a constructor or an event in the generated file and implement the logic in our own file without modifying the generated. So that is the number 1 benefit. Number 2, better code organization in the large project. So we can spread complex class definition across multiple files while still maintaining a structured logic, especially for the things like initialization that constructor does and event wiring that event does. Okay. Number 3, improved maintainability and collaboration. What does it mean? Different developers or tools can work on different aspects of the same class. For example, constructor logic versus UI event handling without stepping on each other's toes. Number 4, full support for custom event logic. With partial events, we can define custom add and remove accessors while keeping the declaration and implementation cleanly separate. So it's great for advanced event handling scenarios. And the last but not the least, consistent with the partial family, similar to class method, right? So partial constructor and events make the partial model feel complete, giving us more consistent and flexible patterns across class design, from construction to event to methods. Okay, so let's switch to the Visual Studio and see all these things in action. Alright, so here we are in Visual Studio. Here we are demonstrating the new and existing feature of partial types in C#, specifically partial class, partial method, partial constructor and partial event. To show the demo, what I have done, I have created a console application named Partial Members Demo in Visual Studio 2022 in preview mode, and it has 3 class files: button.part1.cs, button.part2.cs and program.cs. Let's review one by one. Okay, so let's see first button.part1.cs what code it contains, right? So first of all, I have added necessary namespace at the top using system. Then there is a namespace named partial members demo, and I have written it with the help of file scope namespace syntax that was introduced in C# 10. So what it does, it provides the logical grouping. Next we have a partial class named button, and here I have decorated class with the partial keyword, so it became a partial one, right? And it just says this class will be defined across multiple files. Then I have declared a partial constructor. That's what I have written, public partial button over here. And we can write this in C# 14 only because it was not available at the previous version of C#. So with this statement, I am saying there is a constructor for this class, but its code will be defined somewhere else. Next, I have written partial method declaration. That's what I have written, partial void on initialize. So this is nothing but a partial method declaration. Let's consider this as a hook or the optional method. So there is a possibility it might be implemented in another file, and there is also possibility if it is not, then it's ignored during the compilation. That's why I said it's an optional method. Then I declared a partial event, and that's why I have written this statement. public partial event handler clicked over here. So if you notice here, I have just declared an event, but how it adds or removes subscribers will be written somewhere else. Next, I have written public method named click, and this click method, it is just going to simulate a user clicking the button. So when it's called, it is going to print this statement into console window, button clicked, and then it triggers this rage click method. So rage click method, if you see, this is nothing but the internal method. That's what I have decorated with the private keyboard over here. So private void rage clicked, and here I have written underscore clicked handlers question mark dot invoke this comma event args dot empty, right? So this statement is going to check if any code is subscribed to the clicked event and then calls it. Okay, that's what this I have used this question mark dot operator over here. So if click handler is not null, then it is going to invoke it. That's why this statement meant for. Okay, so now you have seen how button.part1.cs file contains the code, right? Let's review the button part2.cs. So here, first of all, again, I have added necessary namespace like using system.collection.generic, using system.text, and then there is a namespace named partial member demo, and then there is a partial class button, and here I have provided the implementation for partial constructor, partial method, and partial event. So let's see how I have written the partial constructor implementation. So here public partial button, and here I have written this implementation. What I am doing under this constructor, I am just printing this statement into console window. What I am printing, button constructor running into console window, right? And then I am calling the partial method on initialize. So let's say on initialize is not implemented anywhere, so this call is going to get removed. So that's the compiler job. But here I have implemented this partial method. That's what I have written, partial void on initialized, and inside this partial method I'm just printing this statement into console window. What I'm printing, button is initialized, and then finally I have implemented the partial event. That's what I have written, public partial event handler click. Here add and remove functionalities, right? So when someone subscribes to the event with plus equal, then this add is going to get considered and it will execute. If someone unscribed it with the minus equal, then remove block is going to get executed, right? So these two block are using the underscore click handler private field that I have initialized over here. That's what I have written, private event handler underscore click handlers, right? And this is nothing but the backing field that actually stores all the methods subscribed to the event. Okay, so now you have seen how this button.part2.cs file contains the code. Let's switch to the program.cs file. Here, first of all, again, I have added necessary namespace like using system.collection.generic, using system.text. Then there is a namespace named partial members demo. Inside that we have class named program that has main method, which is an entry point of this application. So in main method, first of all, I'm printing this statement into console window. I'm printing newly introduced partial members, partial constructor, and events demo in C# 14. Then what I have done, I have created an instance of the button class. That's what I have written, var button is equal to new button. And as we know, whenever we create any instance of the class, its constructor is going to get invoked, right? And I have written constructor implementation in button.part2.cs, right? So here, this constructor is going to get invoked when we are creating an instance of this button class. So this constructor is going to print this statement into console window, and it is going to invoke this on initialize method, and on initialize method is going to print this statement into console window, right? So while creating an instance of this button, these two statement is going to get printed into console window. Then I have demonstrated partial event over here. So that's what I have written, button.click plus equal is equal to sender comma e, and inside that I'm just writing this statement, event button was clicked. So when the event fires, this block will go and execute and print that button was clicked into the console window. And finally I wrote this statement, button.click over here, right? So that simulates the button being clicked. So cause this button clicked event, and then this statement is going to get printed into console window, right? So that's how this program is structured. Let me execute this program and show the output to you. Okay, so output got appear into this console window. If you see, newly introduced partial members, partial constructor, and events demo in C# 14 got printed, and then button constructor running got printed, button is initialized got printed, button clicked event got printed, and finally event button was clicked got printed into console window. So you have seen, right? I have defined a partial class which is nothing but the button class, which is in two files, button.part1.cs and button part1.part2.cs. Similarly, I have declared and implemented partial constructor, partial method and partial event in button.part1.cs and button.part2.cs respectively. So overall, this structure helps us to organize large code bases, auto-generated files, or if you are just interested to separate the responsibility cleanly. So this concept is beneficial. Okay, so that brings me to end of my session today. To sum up, we revisited the basic of partial classes and partial method and explored how C# 14 introduces partial constructor and partial event, making our code more modular, cleaner and easier to manage, especially in large or generated code bases. That's all for this video, guys. If you like this video, hit the like button, share it with your friends and colleagues, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done already. Thanks for watching. See you next video.